If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to get alerts, just click the little bell next to the subscribe and you'll get all my content as soon as it comes out. But let's get right to it. I'm starting to worry. So Indiana Jones 5, they've hired another writer to possibly do a full new script once again. This stings but doesn't sting. Okay, so you know I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Behind me I have my full Indiana Jones costume head to toe that occasionally I'll cosplay at conventions. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and when they announced that they were doing Indiana Jones 5, which I knew they would, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull did $780 million worldwide. You knew they were going to make another one. You knew once Disney got a hold of the property, they were going to try to make another one. There's been lots of rumors that, you know, this is going to be Harrison Ford's last film and he's going to go out, you know, really awesome, and they're going to do this whole thing and blah, 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 blah. And then they announced that they hired David Cope to write the script, and I was like, oh, because he wrote the script for Crystal Skull, and I was like, oh, this is just, can we not go back to that well and just let another writer come on board who's got fresh eyes on the property and all that? And then, of course, John Kasdan, who's the son of Lawrence Kasdan, who Lawrence Kasdan wrote The Empire Strikes Back. He co-wrote The Force Awakens with J.J. Abrams. Lawrence Kasdan's Larry Kasdan is amazing. So his son wrote Solo, the Han Solo movie that Ron Howard directed. And I was like, oh man, this is great. They've hired John Kasdan to do the Indiana Jones script because that's what they did. So another full pass. Here's another script. I don't know if it was the same as David Cope's, but they hired John Kasdan to write a second script. Now they make an announcement that they have brought on a new writer. And what we don't know is if he's polishing or rewriting a full script altogether. I don't know. But they've brought on Dan Fogelman, who he was the writer for properties like Cars, Cars 2, Tangled, Bolt. He worked a lot with Pixar. He's written a lot of stuff, a lot of episodic television. He is one of the writers and creators of This Is Us, which I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. I didn't start watching it till season 2 because of this, that, and the other and work, but I got hooked on it. And it's an ensemble thing. And a lot of what he writes, whether it's Tangled or Cars or all the episodic television, it's all ensemble, which is great, and that's good. And you know, there's really good heavy moments in This Is Us, and there's lighthearted moments in This Is Us, and I'm like, okay, this is good. But you know, we don't know if he's polishing John Kasdan's script. And from what I've read, the MacGuffin was supposed to be this Nazi train filled with gold from World War II. They stole all the belongings from all of the Jewish people, the riches that they had, all the gold, everything, and they melted everything down. They made gold bars. They put it in a train, and the train was never found. And I think they've done other documentaries about this specific topic, and also they've done work. I think there might have even been a couple of independent, like made-for-TV movies that had something to do with this subject matter. And the MacGuffin was going to be a Nazi train. Okay, and so that leads you to believe that if they hid it in a mountain, there would be booby traps and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, it kind of felt like, first of all, you know, I think we're done with the Nazis. Like, I think, like, going back to that well, like, you know, because this movie, obviously, if the last one took place in 1952, and, you know, they referenced the Roswell crash in 47, the fiasco in 47, you know, it's got to be a few years past that, because Harrison Ford, it's been years since Crystal Skull already. I think that was 2008, so it's already been like 12 years since that movie came out. Oh my God. And so, you know, it's one of those deals where they have to make it relevant. So it's got to be in the 60s or late 60s going into the 70s. I don't know, like maybe 1965 would be good, 64 would be good. But I think they should just stay away from anything Nazi if that's what they're going for. Stay away from biblical. you know, if they went back to like a Temple of Doom type thing where they found a cult or they found something else that he could go after in the jungle, it's got to be a jungle setting. I think they kind of got some of the stuff right in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but there was so much wrong with that film, and I think a lot of it just had to do with, you know, the whole intergalactic beings and UFOs and all that other kind of stuff, and of course, you know, CGI monkeys and CGI scorpions that crawled and didn't look real, and you know, I just feel like what they need to do for Indiana Jones 5 is just create something that is like the movie Logan, you know, where that character of Wolverine was sent off in such an awesome way that no matter what they do in the future, they have to completely reinvent the wheel, because Hugh Jackman just made the perfect send-off film. Now, obviously, Harrison Ford can't die in Indiana Jones 5 because it is canon. Indiana Jones and The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones are canon with Lucasfilm. So, you know, you have to have Indiana Jones with the eye patch, and he gets old, and he goes back and tells all those other stories. So Indiana Jones can't die. We can't have a movie where he dies, but what we can have is a really hardcore, maybe even go dark, get away from all the comedy and the lightheartedness that was in The Last Crusade and in Crystal Skull, and go with a very, like, not dark like Man of Steel dark, but go with a movie that really digs deep into like true archaeology, and it's just like a really serious topic matter, and maybe give a couple of one-liners. But if you start bringing Sala into this movie, and you start bringing in, you know, I mean, you know, I just think it should be like a solo movie. Don't bring Short Round into it as an adult this time, you know, although I'm sure that actor would love to come back and reprise his role. You gotta just have Indy on a solo mission up against some serious odds that he has to have no one else to lean on to get through. And once he gets through that journey, he has to basically say, okay, I am done. Not only am I old without having to go there, but I can't do this anymore. And it should end where he hangs his hat on a bench, or the movie's over, and just before the credits roll, he relaxes back and does the thing with his hat and goes to, like, he's going to sleep because he's exhausted. Whatever the case may be, like, you have to have a good send-off to him. But I just think, you know, stay away from the comedy. I don't know, man. I mean, the fact that they're bringing on now a third writer to possibly either polish the last script or rewrite a whole new script with a whole new MacGuffin, I just feel like we're getting close to, like, just rebooting the whole thing with a younger Indiana Jones. And I hate to say that because Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, but we have to be honest. Just like there's been 25 James Bond films, there's no reason why going forward we can't find another actor to be Indiana Jones. And Chris Pratt, no, not interested in seeing that. Maybe there's some new blood coming up that we could attach that project to. But if they can't get this movie right in the next 18 months and greenlight it and go, Harrison Ford should probably just step back. I hate to say that. And I am such a hardcore Indiana Jones fan. But it just might be time to step back. Unless you're going to send him off like Logan and give him a hardcore, dramatic, I mean, even make this movie rated R like Logan. It still made a ton of money. Logan did, rated R. And Indiana Jones has a huge following. And, you know, most of the movies are PG-13. But if you give it an R, you give something for people to go to, you give it depth. That's what we need to do. I really hope Dan Fogelman can bring that to Indiana Jones. Really nervous about them, you know, either scrapping the last script and starting over again. This is just, the time frame is closing to get this done. And if it's a rush job, it's going to be Crystal Skull critics all over again. So I don't know. What do you guys think about a third writer coming on to redo another Indiana, or kick out another Indiana Jones? I'm conflicted, man. Let's talk about it in the comments section. We'll see you on the next one.